We're on page 271. We're not doing the your turn at the top of the page because on the last video, at the end of the video, we did those numbers 4 through 9. So we're going to skip those on this video, and we're going to start where it says evaluating real-world expressions. It says you can evaluate expressions to solve real-world problems. Example 3 reads, the expression 1.8 times C plus 32 gives the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit for a given temperature in Celsius. In other words, if you know the temperature in Celsius, you can convert it to Fahrenheit using this formula. Find the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit that is equivalent to 30 degrees Celsius. So if we know that 30 degrees is Celsius, what we do is we go in right here and we replace the C with 30. And what's happening here, let me write it out actually. You know me, I like to pretend that the book didn't do anything for us. So here's what I know. I know the formula is, or the expression I should say, is 1.8 times C. And you don't need to use parentheses when you have a variable. When we change it to a number, we're going to need to. Then we're going to add 32. The first step is to take C and replace it with 30. So I'm going to put 30 right here, but I can't just write 1.8 right next to 30 unless I know its multiplication. And in algebra, we know its multiplication by putting it inside parentheses. So the first thing I need to do is 1.8 times 30, and then based on the order of operations, the last thing I do is add 32. So my first step here is to do 1.8 times 30. One way to do that is just to do like 1.8 times 3 and annex this 0. So the 0 won't matter in the digits, but it will matter in the value. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 2 is 3, plus 2 is 5. And then count over one space, 54. The answer to 1.8 times 30 is 54. And then I add 32. 54 and 32. 50 and 30 is 80. 4 and 2 is 6. It's going to be 86. And you'll be able to see right here at the bottom of the page that the value is 86. So that was a nice review on the order of operations and how to write multiplication problems in algebra. All right, let's check out the your turn at the bottom of the page. If you want to try these on your own, that's fine. Let's check out number 10. Number 10 reads, the expression 6x squared gives the surface area of a cube, and the expression x to the third power gives the volume of a cube. Where x is the length of one side of the cube, find the surface area and the volume of the cube with the side length of 2. So here's what we have here. We have two different expressions. We have one for surface area, that's 6x squared, and then we have one for volume, which is x to the third power. And in both cases, we're solving for a cube. And a cube is a square, but it's a three-dimensional square. So it would look like this. And so, and then the side length is 2. So this distance is 2. Here's the thing about a cube, though. If that distance is 2, this distance is also 2, and this distance is also 2. That's what makes it a cube, is all the side lengths are going to be the same. That's what kind of makes it pretty easy. So, but simply put, to solve these things, all we have to do is go in and replace our x's with 2's. So our surface area expression would be 6 times 2. Now if you say, well, where are you getting that 2? It says right here, the side length is 2. So I'm going to take x out, I'm going to replace it with 2, and then I'm going to bring this 6 down, I'm going to bring this squared down. And I need to solve this. And how do I solve this? Some kids would do 6 times 2 first, but let me ask you this. In the order of operations, should we do... Here's the order of operations, PEMDAS. In the order of operations, should we multiply first, 6 times 2, or should we do the exponent first? Well, check it out. Exponent comes before multiply. So the first thing I have to do is 2 squared, and then I'll multiply by 6 at the end. 2 squared means 2 times 2, which is 4. And now I have 6 times 4, which is 24. The answer to this one is 24 square meters. They did the units for us. This one is simply going to be 2 to the third power. Again, I'm getting my 2 here, and I'm replacing x with 2. Now I've got 2 to the third power. And you know from Module 9 that that doesn't mean 2 to the third, it doesn't mean 2 times 3. It means 2 times itself 3 times. Oops. 2 times itself 3 times. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 again is 8. The answer is 8. All right, let's check out the bottom one. I'm going to erase everything and ditch my board. I've got 24 and I've got 8. Those are my correct answers for these. Number 11 reads, the expression 60m gives the number of seconds in m minutes. How many seconds are there in 7 minutes? Well, what kind of math problem is this? 60 right next to m means 60 times m. I'm going to take m out and replace it with 7. So 60 right next to 7, that's not 607, it's 60 times 7. 60 times 7 is like 6 times 7, which is 42. Annex that 0, it's 420. The answer is 420. All right, nice job. You are done with page 271.